Kamenskaya very kindly sent me a set of their delaminating inks recently, and they are like nothing I've seen before. Join me to discover what these intriguing inks can do. These inks are designed to be mixed with alcohol, and the idea is once they come in contact with the other inks, they delaminate, meaning they separate or break up. This makes for some really interesting effects. This is a long, satisfying process of watching and waiting as the effects appear, but if you just want to see the results, use the chapters to skip forward. Normally with alcohol inks, I would work on something like Yupo paper because you can't use them on anything that's absorbent. But I didn't have any of that today. So what I've done is I'm using a canvas, but I've coated it in a canvas primer specifically for alcohol inks. So this is now a non-absorbent surface. It's sort of got a plasticky finish to it. And to use these inks, they say you need alcohol. So this is 99.9% isopropyl alcohol, and I've got my mixing cups. So it's 2 parts alcohol, 1 part ink, mix it all together, and then pour it across the surface. And it should make some very beautiful effects. So let's give this a go. Okay, time for the alcohol. Apparently for the best effect, it's good to put a tilt on your surface to make the colours divide. But just to start with, I'll pour them across the surface and then we'll see what happens after that. That colour's absolutely beautiful. And I have no illusions that it's probably going to be, my table's going to be completely covered at the end of this. Future me is cutting in here quickly to say please wear an appropriate mask when using alcohol inks and anything toxic like this. I left mine off so I could talk to you for the video and ended up with the worst headache I've had in ages, so safety first please guys. Also, sadly, the camera does not pick up the beautiful hues and tonal differences between blues and greens at this angle, but stay tuned for some better close-ups later on. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Yes, it's all pooling towards the centre. So I'm gonna move it around a little bit in a minute. See what happens. I may well add some texture to this afterwards. I'm not massively worried if it doesn't cover the whole surface, but we'll see. Right, let's tilt it this way to start with. Oh my gosh, what absolutely stunning colours. Try and get it right to the edge. There is so much liquid on this canvas. Oh, it's just gone over the edge. Right then, let's let it pour this way. I've got some of my old plates that I use as palettes, so I'm going to use them to prop it up a little bit. No, I actually think I want it to pour that way. Woo! Going straight off the edge, but that's fine. Let's mix up some more of the lighter colours. So on the bottles you will see the delamination degree, and for all of the ones I've used this is high, which means they separate really well. You can see that from here. It is a beautiful effect. I think I'm going to tilt this even more actually. I kind of want it to pour over the edge rather than pool. Absolutely loving that. Stunning effect. Just need a bit more going on over here, I think. And this time I'll use the pipette that came with it. Whoops! Gosh, that really does look like sea foam. That is incredible. So these do come in individual colours that you can buy separately to make up your own colour palettes, or you can buy sets as I've done. This is the marine set. I think there's a forest set. There's all sorts of beautiful colour combinations if you're not as obsessed with the ocean as I am. I'm going to lay this down a little bit so that it doesn't pour quite as much. Do a little bit more over here. Do some splashes and see what happens there. You could just sit and watch the effect happening. It is mesmerising. And I think it's one of those things, once you learn how they interact, you can have a bit more control over it. It's just a case of practicing and experimenting. And if there's a bit that doesn't work out or you're not happy with, you can use the alcohol to reactivate it again. So that's always really handy. Just going to try putting some plain alcohol in it and see what happens. Yes, so that's reactivated it. The dried inks underneath brought them back to life again and giving it a bit more flow. And you can then set this by using an acrylic varnish over the top of it. And then potentially, I guess, add more layers if you wanted to. I'm thinking this kind of looks like an aerial coastline with the waves coming in, and I'm wondering where I could add textures to sort of add to that effect. Just letting it slowly creep across here, and the way that it's reactivated the darker colours underneath is really beautiful. Just going to let that move a little bit longer. See where it settles. And then possibly might reactivate these lines a little bit more. I'm really liking the pause to observe between making each move. It's definitely a very mindful way to make art. Just trying to get rid of the harsher lines over here. And actually using the green over the top of the white gives it a lot of depth. It really does look like currents in the ocean. And once it is dry and sealed, I would be tempted to use my glazing technique with acrylic paints over the top to give it sort of sparkly sections and even more depth. But we'll see how it dries. As you can see, the results are stunning and frustratingly 10 times more beautiful in real life than the camera picks up, so you'll have to trust me on that one. I was keen to push the inks further and see how they reacted on a textured surface, so I took one of my old paintings and coated it with the canvas primer. I experimented with using a brush this time and used a lot more white at the beginning because that was my favourite interaction for my first attempt. I'll show you a sped up version to give you an idea of the process this time. One of my main takeaways from using these inks is you have to be prepared to A, make a mess, and B, expect to lose a lot of paint off the side of the canvas and not to worry about it being supposedly wasted. The best effects are created by letting go of these worries, which is quite a big mindset shift for a lot of artists, I think. After all, supplies are expensive and we don't like to waste them. You'll find a link in the description with my affiliate code for Kamenskaya giving you 10% off your first order if you'd like to try these for yourself. I absolutely adore the depth and illusion of texture that these inks create. If you look at the ripply lines here between the texture paste, that's been created by these inks, and I've never seen any other art supply produce effects like this before. And up here, the way the white has drifted, it looks like the sunlight coming through the water. It's so dramatic, I just love it. I'm only just at the beginning of my journey with delaminating inks, but I'm really excited about the possibilities, especially layering them with other art supplies and really seeing what they can do. I hope this has been interesting and helpful, and if there's any supplies that you've really enjoyed experimenting with, please let me know because I'd love to give them a go too. Until next time, happy creating.